I've always been one of those Zelda fans that preferred Majora's Mask over Ocarina of Time. Shout out to the GameCube port. That darker atmosphere, the cool mask, those always got to me. Courage the Cowardly Dog never scared me as a kid, if that's anything to measure me by. Link walks into an area known as Termina that's essentially a parallel universe to his home kingdom of Hyrule. The center of Termina is Clocktown, and its inhabitants are currently celebrating the Carnival of Time. It's basically crop over for everyone in the city, wishing good fortune and good harvest for the new year and revering the balance between time and nature. The main goal of this game is to save Termina from being destroyed by a moon with a face on it, crashing into a planet. Termina has been placed in a perpetual loop where everyone in the town is killed every 72 hours, and it resets all over again every 3 days. As Link, you use time travel, transformative masks, and your sword, of course, to save everyone and relieve the curses over the land. Anyways, hi, I'm Hiro the Kid, and I watched Don't Look Up on New Year's Day, and wow, what a great way to start out the year. For all intents and purposes, this film sets out to tell a story that satirizes the ridiculous, and at this point, unsurprisingly disappointing reality of the world that we all live in. Climate change is constantly hanging out in the background of every issue that we face today, like a really slick photobomb. It has the power to exacerbate an already dire problem, like coconut in a chocolate bar. I don't even know why you would do that. What if everyone on this spinning rock we call home had 6 months to live? Kate DiBiase, a PhD student, discovers a comet slowly but surely hurtling its way towards the Earth. She and her professor, Dr. Randall Mindy, confirmed the comet being planetary extinction level. I sound like a Dragon Ball YouTuber now. Jesus. Which in turn is confirmed by scientists at NASA. Despite pretty damning evidence, Kate and Dr. Mindy are brushed aside with their findings by President Meryl Streep, her deeming the threat not even a blip on our radar compared to all the other world-ending news that the White House gets on a regular basis. The two then decide to just go to the cable news since nobody else is listening to them in the government so that they can spread the word. Unfortunately, Kate's very obvious frustration with how everything's being handled and being blatantly gaslit on air becomes a meme, and the overall consensus among the public is that there is no comet coming after all. There is no comet in Ba Sing Se. It's not until when her approval ratings are falling before elections when President Meryl Streep decides to fully back the plan to destroy the comet before the 6 months is up. Not sure how nukes being sent into space would impact the rest of the world environmentally in the long run, but at least something is being done now. That is, until a super donor of the president's campaign, Peter Isherwell, has enough influence to shut down the entire project at the last second. Like, not even the last second, honestly, like as soon as rockets are being shot up into the air. Based on data found within his megacorp bash, Peter is essentially able to halt the whole mission so that instead, resources can be extracted from this deadly comet once it lands. You know, like on some South African blood diamond shit. Fast forward, eventually Kate and every other credible scientist attached to the mission to save the world are pushed to the side because, goddammit, capitalism will kill us all if there's a potential to make a profit. Dr. Mindy is made the new National Science Advisor of the administration, but it's clearly a stand-in title used to now downplay the severity of the comet. Literally, he calculated that would kill everyone. This role doesn't last long though, because obviously the world is still ending, and there's no amount of success or fame that can change that. And there's no amount of success or fame that can sway the looming anxiety that rests on his mind. Dr. Mindy has a huge meltdown on TV, similar to Kate, calling out the president, the elite, and all those indifferent to the fact that, yes, the world is going to end. For the last leg of the movie, Kate and Dr. Mindy band together for one last push to urge other nations on the planet to act and pursue their own plan to destroy the comet. The president launches her own campaign, decidedly claiming that the comet is a form of propaganda to scare folks. The sides of Just Look Up and Don't Look Up are diametrically opposed in a war on Christmas kind of way. Debate bros and reactionary right-wingers alike.
Dude, you are that guy.
I'm not that guy to fucking bitch. You wanna get fucked up?
It all comes to a head when some of the countries cut off from the mining deal that Peter created create their own effort to stop the comet. And it fails. Horribly. Bash launches their 5-star comet mining project into the sky, and yeah, that also fails. Horribly. Cherries on top of that coconut chocolate monstrosity. These days, it just feels like the average person in my generation, #Zoomers Rise Up, was given a really bad head start in a race that we were never going to win in the first place. I feel for everybody, wherever they're at, however old they are, getting to how they live out here. Because we all can unanimously agree that shit sucks right now. Honestly, this point in the movie, I was still pretty much laughing because it felt like watching an explosion in slow motion. You're only a bystander, so there's nothing you can do. Point blank, this was a preventable event, and yet the only people who get to survive are the elite upper class who've already reserved their cryogenic pods in case the mining project went left. The comet hits, everyone dies, the end. There's a lot that can be said after watching the film, from its complete lack of urgency being held by the ruling class, despite very clear warnings way ahead of time that shit's about to hit the fan, or the unabashed contempt for listening to the goddamn scientists, as it were. I like the movie for what it's worth, and I feel like I had a lot of stuff to say, but I don't know. It just feels like it was lacking that last part of the finishing combo, to really stick that spine buster. Like, yeah, we're probably all gonna die, but it still feels like the movie lets those in power, the villains, off a little too easy. Be it that they get to live 22,000 years in the future. There are riots and protests held by people who are clearly upset by this catastrophic event not getting the right kind of attention, but that bite is subdued to give a general sense of camaraderie rather than really centralized, organized struggle. The movie spends way more time with people convinced that the comet mining project will provide jobs than analyzing the conditions that would lead people to even want to take that chance in the first place. Of course, not saying everyone deserves sympathy. If you want to support a fascist regime that doesn't really care about you, then by all means, go ahead. But we get the viewpoint of degreed scientists who have years of research under their belt, and it's kind of framed as a partisan issue. But what about the marginalized folk who were pretty much given the worst hand in all of this due to the lack of action from those in power and with those with better knowledge of what to do? There's panic and fear all around, but everyone isn't really willing to try anything until the very last minute, which just sounds unlikely, but very likely at the same time. It's clear that a lot can be pulled from this movie to match up with real life, intentional or otherwise. Dr. Mindy, Dr. Fauci. The United States, a deadly comet, and the ongoing pandemic that's exacerbating the already exacerbated issues. Just a little bit more. Those cherries just have a sweet primordial ooze just drizzled all over them. Our political leaders and even scientific institutions now have failed us numerous times over the sake of profit. Nearly everyone in the movie is just expected to go about their life like there isn't a comet coming. Just like how we're all supposed to just accept that we're probably all going to get sick anyway. We'll still have to go to work, even if we already are sick and showing symptoms. Yeah, that's crazy. So, what now? Do we just sit and assess until the comet hits? Majora's Mask had some people completely freaking out, obviously from a moon being able to crash into their planet, but there were definitely a lot of people who were pretending that it wasn't happening. And definitely a lot of people who were nihilistic over the whole thing, just like they were in the movie. I feel like that's nothing compared to the overall hopelessness people in today's day and age and people of my age and younger feel every day. At the start of a new year for the first time in my life, I'm cautiously optimistic. Like pulling up to a surprise party but still having a strap on me nonetheless. I turned 24 this year, so I've obviously realized now that I'm not going to have everything figured out. Shocker. It can be so easy to fall into the gaping black hole of despair these days. But I challenge everyone to reject nihilism. Actually, fuck nihilism. All my homies recognize the absurdity of life and give it its own meaning. As a people, there's still a lot more that we can do. Clearly waiting on people whose best interest is their capital to save everyone is pointless. Reach across to your neighbors, your fellow man, who's got a lot to lose if that comet hits, or if that moon crashes, or if another virus does a clean sweep, or if climate change is really about to hand us the L through these holes in the ozone layer. I feel like most people, including myself, who work in STEM industries, watched this movie and felt cathartic because, yeah, it was great for people to see what I've been feeling this whole time. You know, to have your peer-reviewed and experimentally tested numerous times facts. I don't think everything deserves a happy ending. But the discourse should be a lot less, well, we tried, and a lot more, wow, this all sucks, but I have to keep trying anyway if I care enough to want to see a better future. For 2022, I want to work on my own version of hope. I probably won't have it all together by the end of the year or next, but that's okay. I am not the hero of time, cruising in on my horse in the middle of a town that's about to explode. I am only one person. It's getting much harder to claim hope these days, but I want to keep searching until I find it. Until then, I'll keep educating myself and working on myself and taking more chances on myself, and you should too. I don't want to be afraid to keep it real about how crazy shit is right now. It feels like cognitive dissonance on my own self to just pretend like nothing is happening right now. Despite how easy it is to feel like you're the only one paying attention to the crises you're in, though, trust me, you're not. Despair has a way of distorting reality way better than a movie or reactionaries can. Celebrate the small wins. Hope is pragmatic. Refuse defeat until death. So if you made it to the end of this video, you're hearing this right now, meaning congratulations or thank you. I'm going off the top of my head if it's no indication right now. I recently had the last video I made from 2 years ago, featured on one of my favorite YouTubers right now, FD Signifier, on his channel. He basically gave a lot of positive feedback and constructive criticism to a whole bunch of video essays from smaller creators on YouTube, and my video was in there, and I got a lot of positive feedback, not just from him, but other viewers of this video, and some of those people actually came and subscribed to me, and now I'm almost at 300 subscribers. That's kind of unreal. A lot of those people also commented too, and basically were saying like, yo, come back, do this thing all over again. And, you know, I was a little hesitant at first, but I kind of have that battery in my pack now to really be more consistent with the things that I like doing and the things that make me happy. I feel like that's a good practice to have for the rest of your life, you know? So shout out to FD, shout out to all the recent subscribers. If you like this video, first of all, you can actually like it, but then you can also subscribe too and join in all the fun. I'm probably going to be posting videos. Shout out to all. Shout out to FD. Shout out to all the recent subscribers. If you like this video, well, first of all, you can like it. And second of all, if you really like this video, you can also subscribe so that you can stay up to date with more content that I have in the future. I have social media as well. You can follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram, Hiro_the kid. That's pretty much it. Thank you once again. Happy New Year to you all. Hope y'all are doing good and drinking water. Peace.